Mr. Love, I hope you'll express to Marilyn Tavenner our sympathy for her loss of her mother and respect for the way she does her job, and we look forward to seeing her soon. And Dr. Frieden, I want to especially thank you for the terrific job the CDC did in the meningitis outbreak. I mean, you worked fast and quickly, and by doing that, and the help that you gave the Tennessee Department of Public Health and Vanderbilt and others who worked on that, you saved a lot of lives in that. And to all of you, I think we all appreciate and respect the work that you do, and look forward to more informational hearings. But this is not an appropriate hearing. I think my colleagues know I spend as much time as anybody on the Republican side trying to make this government work in the way it's supposed to work. I especially appreciate what Chairman Mikulski said about the regular order, and I like the fact that she and Senator Shelby and Senator Harkin and others are trying to, and Senator Moran are trying to have us do our job with appropriations and to do it together in the way we're expected. So I'm supporting that effort and intend to do everything I can to help her do that. But this is not right for the Secretary of the Department to not appear to defend the president's budget. I was a secretary. I'm pretty sure I answered the same question when I was asked, would I show up when asked by the committee? And I believe I did whenever I was asked, at least for this specific occasion. And I noticed that the chairman mentioned a couple of times he's retiring this year, but if he is, I haven't noticed it. I mean, if anybody from Iowa were to ask me if Tom Harkin was slowing down in this year of his retirement, I say, as far as I can tell, he's speeding up. I mean, we have a hearing every other day, it seems like, and he's busily doing his job, and I'm glad he is. I enjoy working with him. We've gotten more done than any other committee in the Congress, authorizing committee. And I noticed that the senator from Nebraska is also retiring, and he not only came to this hearing, he's on his way to another hearing. So where is the Secretary of Health and Human Services? She's still on the job. I mean, if the Secretary of Defense were still on the job and waiting for the next secretary, and we were invaded or Ukraine happened, and would the Secretary of Defense not show up? I mean, that's not appropriate. And it's more, I'm afraid, than just the secretary playing hooky. I mean, this is getting to be a persistent problem with this administration. Regarding Article 1 of the Constitution and the Congress, the representatives of the people, as an inconvenience. I mean, I think presidents ought to begin their terms by taking the cabinet down to Mount Vernon and reminding themselves that while the chief executive is extremely important, the founders didn't want a king, and George Washington, who could have stayed forever as long as he lived as president, imprinted his humility and respect for the people on the Constitution that he helped to write. And every president since then almost has tried to stretch that envelope, but this administration has gone further than any I can remember, with its recess appointments and its czars and its waiver authority for school boards and raising money privately to do what Congress didn't authorize to do, and turning the Senate into a place where a majority can do whatever it wants, whenever it wants, to get a result that the administration wants. That's not the way our constitutional framework was set up. I hope I would say the same thing if we had a Republican president whose secretary didn't show up to testify before a Republican committee. We have Article 1 for a reason. We represent the people of this country for a reason. We are here ready to do our jobs, and I'm extremely disappointed that the Secretary of Health and Human Services, who helped write this budget over the last 6 months, is not here to do her job. What if the next secretary said she couldn't come testify because she didn't have anything to do with writing the budget? It's the job of the secretary to be here to show respect, not for each of us, but for the people we're elected to represent under Article 1 of the Constitution of the United States. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.